Hi, I'm Christina Bergston with the Animal Law Firm, where we are fighting for the underdog in Colorado, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, and Tennessee. Today's topic is breeder co-ownership contract disputes. Okay, these are super juicy and interesting, so get your popcorn. I'll wait. Okay, now that you're back, breeder breeder co-ownership contracts have so much drama. So usually what this is like a guardian contract is sometimes what they're known as, or there's like a breeder contract between somebody who shows the dog. So no matter which flavor of breeder contract, co-ownership contract you have, they're very dramatic. So a guardianship contract is when a breeder has a person or families that they say, okay, you get the mother dog, right? And then you're going to watch over the mother dog while she is pregnant. And then when she's pregnant, I'm going to take the dog, I'm going to whelp the puppies, like birth the puppies and like get them kind of set up. And then once the puppies are all, sometimes it depends, like sometimes the puppies will go back to the guardian and then the guardian will like sell off the puppies for the breeder. Like the breeder will tell people, oh, go to guardian's house and pick up your puppy. Sometimes the breeder will sell the puppies him or herself and then give the mother dog back. But a lot of times the disputes around guardianship contracts come from disagreements. Well, they all come from personality, but a lot of times they come from like the guardian is like, I no longer trust this breeder. I don't like the breeder's practices. I don't like how disruptive this is to my life, blah, blah, blah. And so the guardian will say like, I'm not going to give you back the dog anymore. Or they'll call me and say, how do I get out of this contract? I'm like, probably can't because it's a contract. And so, yeah, and then, or the breeder will call me and say like, somebody won't give me my dog back and I'm supposed to be breeding this dog and I'm losing all this money. And so we have to do contract interpretation to determine how best to get the dog back for the breeder, or possibly to see if there's a way to like buy out the interest in the contract. If you have a contract as a breeder or a guardian, definitely have our law firm look at it so we can go over your rights. Like it really, I know it sounds stupid, but you really, and like I never would have done this when I was like a non-lawyer, when I was just a regular human being. I never would have been like, go have an attorney read a contract before you sign it. But like literally, it's probably the best advice ever because contracts are so awful and attorneys will be able to ask you questions and be like, well, this is going to be really annoying in like 2 or 3 years. Are you sure you want to do this? Because that's something you got to think about. But yeah, guardianship contracts, breeder contract disputes, super juicy, lots of drama. The other contract that we run into a lot is a breeder and a person who shows the dog. And then there it's like, well, again, it's the same sort of thing. Like the shower isn't giving the dog back in time for the breedings, or isn't properly like letting the breeder know like, oh, the dog's in heat or not in heat. Sometimes they have the sire, but that's not as common. Because like just literally females are worth more. Because they have thousands of babies, You need a lot fewer males to do the job than you do the female. Like you need multiple females. Anyway, that's the kind of the premise of lion prides, right? Although they really, in all fairness, should be called lioness prides because, again, there's only one lion for like 6 females. Anyway, whatever. So, lost my train of thought. Yeah, they're just juicy. There's just a lot of drama no matter what in these breeder contracts. And again, like you really have to be careful about what you are agreeing to. A lot of people will enter into a guardianship contract because it's like, okay, if I do, and they're long, right? They're like 4 or 5 years, right? And if you don't have a contract and you're a quote unquote guardian, that's like a statute of frauds issue, which is a contract interpretation doctrine. So like you might be able to get out of it that way, but short of that, you really can't. It's really, really hard to get out of these contracts. So like guardianship contracts will have a term of like 4 or 5 years where it's like, okay, you have this mother dog, you get her maybe when she's 1, and then when she's 2, she starts breeding. And then every year until she's like 4 or 5, depending on the breeder and the breed, you've got to take this dog in to get the dog tested, her estrogen levels tested. You got to like monitor her heat cycles, which is like basically code word for when she gets her period, because dogs get periods when they're not fixed. and that means like blood all over your all over your couch, if you're not paying attention. And so it's just a lot of like maintenance and work. And obviously, you know, you get attached to this dog, and then like this dog has to be gone for, you know, 4 to 8 weeks, depending on the terms of the contract. And like this other person has a say in what your dog can eat and what vet your dog can go to, and you know, what kind of training your dog has to have. And, you know, like, so this other person that's not really involved in your life has a lot of involvement because of the dog. And this can go on for, like I said, like 4 or 5 years. So, and then at the end of the contract, the light at the end of the tunnel, the carrot, the proverbial carrot, like nobody, I have an employee who didn't know what that meant. Like this carrot and the stick, like the pro and the con. And he was like, I would never choose a carrot. I'm like, you're missing the point. Anyway, so the proverbial carrot of this is that at the end you get like this purebred dog for free, basically, or close to free. You don't have to pay the purchase price, like, because a lot of times breeders will say, oh, if you are the guardian of this dog for whatever amount of years or breedings, it's usually like 4 to 5 years, or like 10 breedings if you're a bad breeder. Because like you shouldn't really be breeding your dog more than once a year, like regardless of the breed. There might be some exceptions, but I'm not really aware of very many. So either way, it doesn't matter. So it's like either X number of years or Y number of breedings. And then and then at the end you get the dog for free. So you like don't pay a purchase price for this purebred dog. But again, I mean, I've said it in other videos, there's no way to guarantee temperament or whatever. And it's just like, it's just a huge hassle to have a dog for free. Cause like I don't know, I would never do this. But a lot of people like to do it because they get to like, you know, they get to hang out with these like very cute, like very tiny little puppies that can't open their eyes. And like, I get it, they're adorable. Like I don't blame anyone. It's just not something I would want. It's not an aggravation I want or need in my life personally. So the show stuff, and like the showers, like a lot of times they'll get pissed off at the breeder because they're like, well, they're not giving me the dog back in time, and like they promised me that this dog had this, that, or that quality, and now the dog doesn't, and now I can't show the dog and I can't win, you know, this or that. And so there's a lot of drama. So if you find yourself in a contract dispute with a breeder, or a shower or a guardian or whatever, give us a call. We're happy to look over contracts. We can basically look over most contracts regardless of what state you're in, because it's just a matter of like contract interpretation, which generally doesn't have any local laws and rules, but that's a case-by-case basis. So, you know, you'd be looking at, if you're out of state, you'd probably be looking at doing like a paid consultation, which is only $250, which I think is a pretty good bang for your buck. I don't know. I think that's it. I've talked your ear off. This was a lot longer video than I thought it would be. Stay safe out there, underdogs. Bye.